Hello everyone, and welcome back to Majoric Astrology. Now I wanted to try something a little bit different. I'm used to filming in really dark room, but today I wanted to kind of try natural lighting and see how that works. And I'm sorry about the light that keeps fluctuating up and down. I didn't really think about that when I was hitting play to record, but now I know. Now I have been wanting to do parent-child type of videos for a while now, and as you can see on my channel, I do have a couple of videos of parenting with astrology, and I definitely want to hone in a lot on that, and I may not get a lot of viewers on it, but those that it needs to find, it'll find those people. And I think that it'll really help because a lot of these videos are not out there. There are a couple, but there's not as many as the abundance of the entire astrology, especially for adults. Now, with that being said, I'm definitely focused on parent-child astrology and synastry and what it means to have different planets in different houses in a child and parent chart and what that means for your relationship. Now, this is just an astrological take. It is very basic as I do not have the personal chart of you or your child. So please take that into consideration when watching this video and all of my other videos. Now, understanding the parent and child synastry can really help deepen and strengthen the bond between a parent and child or a caregiver. And as you can see in this video, we are going to be talking about the sun and the different houses when it comes to an astrological chart. And I'm going to try to keep it very basic because this can get a little bit more on the complicated side, so I don't want to make it too hard to understand. And again, it is very general. In astrology, the sun represents the core identity, the ego, and the vitality of a person. Now, when the sun is in different houses in the parent or child's chart, it can really bring a spotlight to that house. So exploring these placements can really help the parent or caregiver better support their children's growth and development. Moving forward, I'm just going to say parent. I don't mean to disregard anybody that is a caregiver, but I find it kind of hard switching from parent to caregiver to grandparent. I'm just going to say parent in general, but this is for whoever's in charge or watching over, or even just an aunt that wants to help with their child. But I will say parent moving forward. So first, we're going to start off with the sun in the first house. This placement can really help strengthen the parent and child relationship, since the parent's presence and influence helps shape the child's sense of identity. The child may look up to their parent as a role model and desire their approval as they figure out who they are. On top of that, this placement may really encourage the child to embrace their individuality and stand up for what they believe. Now, having the sun in the second house in this type of synastry can indicate that the parent may help the child develop their sense of self-worth as well as their values. This placement can also indicate that the parent plays an important role in how the child approaches financial matters and also may teach them from an early age about saving money. They may give them a piggy bank and put an emphasis a lot on making money, making a lemonade stand, and cultivating a healthy relationship with money. The parent's influence here can really help how a child understands their personal and material possessions. Also, I just want to mention that aspects are really going to flavor this here, and also what sign that the sun may be in. So again, just take that into consideration when watching this video and all the remaining videos that I post. Okay, next up we have sun in the third house. Now, in this type of synastry, we can see an emphasis being placed on communication. The parent may really put a strong emphasis on communicating with their child, or really putting emphasis on helping them with early learning and their learning environment in schools, and a really big importance on school and early learning. The parent can really help the child improve or makes an impact on their communication style. And a really good outcome of this is that the child may really lean towards being open-minded. And this placement can really help strengthen the verbal and written communication between parent and child, as well as then going on ahead and leaching into the remainder of their life and how they communicate with others. So it's not just between the parent-child, but it can also influence how they approach communications with others. Also, another good indication with this placement placement could be that the parent makes learning really fun. So this can be a parent that decides to homeschool in one case, and they make it really fun and very engaging. This is the house of Gemini naturally, and it is very mental, so they could make it really fun and doing a lot of things and exploring a lot of different topics. So they could just in general make it very fun and engaging, or just at least help them in school when it comes to their schoolwork. Next up, we have the sun in the 4th house. Now the house is the natural house of the home, so an emphasis and a spotlight is going to be placed here on the home. So there's going to be a strong emphasis on family connection, home life, and emotional connection as well between the parent and child. This placement can indicate a very nurturing or protective parent. This placement can indicate a parent who prioritizes the mental well-being and the emotional security of their child. Not to say that any other placement does not indicate that, it's just really strong emphasis with this placement, especially when it's really well aspected and in a very nurturing sign like, let's say, Cancer. And here we can also see a very deep emotional bond with the parent and child, with the parent playing a very significant role in the development of the child's sense of self and security. So here we're going to see again that spotlight and an emphasis on emotional stability, security, nurturing, mixed in together with a strong sense of belonging. Next up, we have sun in the 5th house. Here we can see that spotlight being shined in on the 5th house of creativity, fun, hobbies. So the parent can really play a significant role in encouraging the child to pursue those creative hobbies that they have. If they want to do art, they can really put an emphasis and sign them up for art class or pottery class or dance or theater, whatever the child is into that is a creative outlet. I see a high emphasis here being placed on that, not only in childhood, but even through adolescence. And there could be a really strong bond between parent and child through these type of hobbies. So it could be that the parent and child both have the same interests, whether it's baking or dancing. They bond through something that they like to do together. Again, that is a possibility here. So here, the parent's support plays an important role on developing the child's confidence and passion for creative endeavors. Next up, we have sun in the 6th house. So here we can see between the parent and child that there is an emphasis on creating a healthy daily routine. So this could be a parent that puts a lot of emphasis on setting a structured routine within the home. They could even have like a schedule up on the refrigerator. I don't think that I do have this placement with one of my children, and we do have routines on the refrigerator and they're magnetic, and it's like a check mark thing of their chores. Now they're really small, so that's why it's fun to look at. They can check mark it, and it's very small and minimum because they're younger, so they don't have a lot of chores, just mainly cleaning up after themselves. But they can have like a chore chart or something that helps them keep organized, and there's an emphasis on routine within the home and structure. So the parent can really help the child develop a strong sense of work ethic, and I don't mean like Kim Kardashian's. There's just a strong spotlight here on developing a sense of organization and discipline in a child's daily routine in a loving way that doesn't have to be like in a militant type of way. It could be in a very fun way, because I always make it very fun for them, and it's not something that is super vital, but I do like to keep things very organized and keep them on a schedule. There can also be a focus on health and well-being, and that is also the case here. I have these yoga dice that the children can roll, and they do the yoga poses. I don't think I have it here, but if I did, I could show you guys. But that is like one of the things that health is big for us here. So eating healthy organic foods, always having really clean water with minerals, and just drinking lots of water and being very healthy and keeping them active is very important here within the home too. So that is going to instill in them a sense of not only discipline, but also hopefully that'll trickle on to their adulthood in being healthy, drinking lots of water, and putting an emphasis on their physical body and taking care of not only their physical body, but also their mental health, because there is a priority here of self-care and maintaining a balanced, healthy lifestyle. Next up, we have Sun in the 7th house. So here we can see in the parent-child synastry that the parent may really help the child develop really important social skills that really help them to be able to form healthy partnerships and friendships. This placement can also indicate that the parent plays a very vital role in how the child approaches relationships as they grow older into adolescence and adulthood. So the parent can really help shape their child's understanding of balance and harmony and cooperation in partnerships as well as friendships. It could also suggest that the parent-child bond may be deeply connected to the child's future romantic relationship and their overall approach to partnerships. And how that plays out is really going to depend, of course, as I had mentioned, on different aspects, the sign, and other planetary placements. So again, in order to know that, you would need to get a personal synastry parent and child reading to know a little bit more about your own personal situation. Next up, we have Sun in the 8th house. So here we can see that the parent can really help the child develop a strong sense of power and control over their lives. And that doesn't mean that the parent has control over the child's life. That means that they help the child develop that sense of power within themselves to have control over their lives. I just wanted to make sure that I said that clearly because it kind of sounded wrong the first way it came out. This placement could suggest that the parent plays an important role in guiding the child's understandings of deep emotions as well as transformation. And they also may guide them towards understanding the mysteries of life. And that could be that the parent could from an early age start talking about different topics with the child about mysteries of the world or different type of phenomena. It depends. It could be that they talk about ghost through stories or books that they read, anything like that. So it doesn't have to be these big adult grown things that we deal with. It could be small things like books and ghosts. It could also be psychic phenomena or things that happen, or they could even talk about death. If there is a death in the family or a death that happens within their lives around them, then that could be something that they want to talk to their parent about, and they're able to easily talk together about these type of topics because that is associated with the 8th house. So the parent could be really supportive in helping the child explore those type of topics, as well as exploring their own deep emotion, their own inner strength, and exploring their own personal growth. And this can really impact the child's journey towards self-discovery and empowerment. Next up, we have Sun in the 9th house. So here we could possibly see that the parent helps the child develop their philosophical or spiritual beliefs. It could lean towards the way of Christianity or church, and really putting an emphasis on the child learning about the Bible, reading Bible studies or reading Bible books for children, singing in the choir, or it could be the other way where they want to learn about spirituality and mysticism and astrology and teaching them about astrology and buying little kids zodiac books. Now, since the spotlight is also placed here, we can also see an emphasis being placed on travel, and the parent can make it really important for the child to explore and travel. And if that is something that the parent could provide financially, I think that is a high indicator that could happen here, is that they would want to take them traveling abroad or long distance travel within their country to really help them learn about different places or even different cultures if it is that they go abroad. This is really going to help foster a broad-minded approach to life for the child. Also, the parent may act as a teacher or guide to the child, helping them in their academic pursuits as well as their spiritual or philosophical pursuits. So if the child likes to learn about space, then the parent is going to go on ahead and, if they can, provide them with an encyclopedia of space for children, or take them to the NASA Kennedy Space Center that's in Florida, for example. Next up, we have Sun in the 10th house. So here we may see that the child may really receive assistance from their parents when it comes to how they feel that they are an authority figure within the world in general. And since they're so young, that's probably most likely just going to be school. So for example, that could be that when the child is in middle school or high school, they want to go on ahead and try to be class president or one of those things that they have within the school, and the parent is really going to encourage and supply them with everything they need for their little school campaign. I mean, I saw that in high school. I saw people do like president stuff, and I thought it was really cool. So I do know that that is a thing. And I think that with this placement, that can be really highly emphasized, of the parent really helping and encouraging their child and supplying them with everything they need in order to pursue that goal. And again, that's just one example. Having the sun in the 10th house here could also indicate that the parent has a really strong impact on the child's choice of career or just their public image in general. Let's say, for example, and I always like to give examples, that the mother, let's say MC, that say the MC is there, most likely the mother or female figure is a doctor or a dentist. The child most likely will want to be, not always, just saying in this example, the child will want to be a doctor and a dentist just like their mom and have their own practice. So that's kind of an example of how this could manifest. And lastly, we could see here that the parent may put a lot of emphasis on success and praising their child for their successes or for their accomplishments, and really encourage them to take on leadership positions and really just work hard to achieve their goals. Next up, we have the sun in the 11th house. So community involvement and friendship and connections is something that the parent could really put an emphasis on here. So here we could see that a bond is formed between the parent and child due to their mutual interest in helping the community or humanitarian pursuits, and just helping others in general and being socially active. So the child may want to take part of community groups or humanitarian like projects within their community because of their parents' influence on them. So it could be that they watch their parents be part of some type of humanitarian work. They could be volunteers at an animal shelter, or they could be setting up for a local food bank and they watch their parents when they're younger, and then as they grow older they also want to do the same thing, or they could do it together growing up. So how that plays out is really going to depend on other planetary placements, but they could bond over that shared interest. And last, we have the sun in the 12th house, really shining a light on the unseen. So here we can see that the parent helps the child connect with the unconscious or spiritual world. So the parent could really put an emphasis on helping the child talk about their inner world, talk about their feelings, which can really help the child develop their sense of empathy and sense of caring. The parent can also play a really big role in helping the child develop their own sense of intuition. Similar to the 8th house, the parent could really help them explore the paranormal world or watching like ghost stories together. I don't think I have this because I don't have my mom's exact birth time, so I don't think we have this, but I do remember us watching like ghost stories together, and we would watch like hauntings and unsolved mysteries and stuff like that. So I do know that I had this, but whether it was the 12th house, 8th, I'm not really sure, but I just am using that as an example that they could watch scary stories together or even watch like mediums and really delve into that world without any type of fear surrounding it. In the best case scenario, of course, because we don't have aspects or other planetary placements to look at in this video. But if the child is interested in the spiritual world or the paranormal world, then it's likely that the parent will really help them dive deeper into that and encourage them to do so. Now, having this placement is really going to be very important that the child and parent spend time together alone, because this is the house also of seclusion. So I know that there's so much going on throughout the day where there's school and there's after school activities and there's friends, but it is going to be important for the parent-child bond for them to spend time together alone. Now, of course, they can spend time alone in general where they're able to recharge their own energies, but I think that it'll really help them bond if they're able to do some type of activity or do something alone together, especially if that's doing some type of hobby or shared interest like the arts, which is also associated with the 12th house. And as I have mentioned that they spend time alone, the parent can also encourage the child to take away that time to themselves. So they can even set up a little space in their room that's like a calm corner for them to go to decompress and to draw or paint if they desire to do so, and the parent will provide that or could provide that for them, and that's really going to help the child foster their sense of creativity. Also, having a parent help their child look into their dreams and help them kind of interpret a little bit what's going on within their dreams, like maybe some subconscious messages, or if they're worried about something, it may show up in their dreams, and the parent helping them understand that it may just be coming out in their dreams because they're afraid of it in real life. That's really going to help the child learn more about who they are and where they fit into the world. And there you guys have it. That is the sun in the 12 astrological houses when it comes to parent and child synastry. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and if you have any other ideas of what you would like to see, please go ahead and comment below. Also, if you would like to, you can comment where the sun falls in your synastry chart between you and your child and how that has manifested for you. Please subscribe for more videos like this, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video.